Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello again, Dr. Sharif. Today we are going to revise a station with a mental state examination task. It's about a neighbor who threatened his neighbors and waved a stick because he believes that they are emitting rays towards his house. In the candidate notes, they are not going to say to you clearly that he feels that there are rays are emitted, but just a referral by the police, and you are required to do a mental state examination. Okay, so we can start now. The patient's name is Mr. Brown, and you are going to do the first time with in 7 minutes, usually, as we know, and then we are going to have a discussion about the station, and we are going to repeat it later on with a tutoring. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Hello, Mr. Brown. I am Dr. Sharik. I am from the mental health unit. I gather that you have been brought by the police here because of some incident that took place in your neighborhood.
Well, doctor, I don't know. Well, I don't know why I'm here. The police should take action against my neighbors. They are even neighbors. They are behind all the suffering of my mother. She has ulcers, and these ulcers do not heal because of what they are doing. I decided to stop them, but instead of helping me, the police brought me here to you.
I'm really sorry to hear about your problems. And can you tell me why do you think that they are doing this?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they want to kick us from our house, but I'm sure that they are behind the ulcers in my mother, because I know that rays cause ulcers which do not heal. And this is the case with my mother.
And since when has it been happening, sir?
3 months ago, I discovered this.
And after that, what did you do?
Well, I paid attention that whenever there is the antenna of their satellite is directed to our house, my mother is suffering, and the ulcers do not heal. So I decided to cover all the walls with foil and things to prevent these X-rays. But still, these X-rays penetrate this foil, and I can see the X-rays, and I can see them flashes, the flashes coming from the antenna to my house. But today I decided to confront them.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear all this. But do you think that they are living so far away from your house? And how is it possible that they're sending rays to your house?
It is by the antenna. They have an antenna, doctor, which emits these rays, and not only by the antenna, the lights of their cars are also emitting rays. And whenever they do this, my mother suffers, and the ulcers in her back do not heal. And I understand this now, because before I didn't know what's going on, but later on, after I discovered that the antenna issue, everything was clear, and there's a revelation to me that they are evil and they are behind all this.
Okay, but I find it difficult that this is happening to you because they live very far away from your house, and these rays do not travel so far away.
No, they are not far. They are the neighbors in the next door to me.
Could there be any other explanation to this?
No, doctor. They are evil, and I saw whenever they direct the antenna to our house, my mother suffered, and I urged them to stop doing this. They kept laughing from what I'm saying. Not once, not twice, not many times. Whenever they direct the antenna to my mother, she suffers.
I'm sorry to hear about your suffering. Are there more people involved in this?
Excuse me?
Are there more people involved in this?
No. Only
apart from your neighbors.
Only these 2 neighbors. This man and his wife are evil.
Okay, and you tell me that this happened 3 months ago. This started happening 3 months ago.
Yes.
How were you before this?
Before that, I didn't know what's going on. My mother had these ulcers which do not heal, and I didn't understand what's going on. She has ulcers in her back, and all the doctors didn't know what's going on. And I thought that there's something on, because we did all the investigations, took all the medications. Suddenly, I discovered it's because of my neighbors who are sending rays by their antenna.
Any significant change in your life before these problems started? For example, any stressors?
Yeah, taking care of my mother. She has these ulcers because she has cancer, but she received treatment, but these ulcers do not heal. Are not healing because of these neighbors.
Did you have any alcohol or any drug consumption 3 months
No,
back before this medicine started?
no.
How had your mood been before this?
Well, my mood is fine, except that I'm now pissed off from my neighbors and I decided to take an action.
Okay, I can see you're very distressed because of all this happening. Perhaps I can offer you a glass of water to help you calm down.
No, thank you.
Okay, to help you more, I need to ask you a few more questions. These questions are a bit strange, but these are routine questions that we ask almost everybody. So if you feel uncomfortable, do let me know.
Okay.
How certain are you about this, your neighbors trying to harm you?
Well, I'm very certain, doctor.
Is it possible that there could be any other explanation?
You asked me this question before and I said, no, there is no other explanation.
Okay, sometimes when we are distressed, we have strange occurrences. Has there been any happening when you felt that you are not able to think clearly?
Like what?
Like somebody is interfering with your thoughts, probably inserting them into your mind or removing from your mind.
No.
Okay. Or perhaps like when you think something, you feel that everybody around you is able to hear those thoughts.
No. I'm not crazy, doctor.
Okay. And one more strange question that I want to ask you. Has there ever occurred that you felt that you can hear voices when nobody else is hearing them around you?
No, doctor, I'm not crazy.
Okay. Okay. How was your mood before this?
You asked me, my mood is fine. I don't have any problem with my mood.
Okay. Any change in your energy levels?
No.
Are you able to enjoy things that you used to enjoy previously?
Yes. I don't have any problem.
Okay. How has your concentration been?
My concentration is fine, doctor. I don't have any problem.
Okay, I understand this has been a really stressful time. How are you coping with it?
Well, I don't know what to do. I decided to go to confront them, to stop doing from what they are doing.
Okay, apart from this particular incident, has the police been involved anytime before as well?
No.
Have you been using any drugs or alcohol to relieve the stress?
No. Time.
One more.
Okay. So you were doing fine, but I don't know. You kept repeating the same questions.
I got mixed up.
Yes. Why did you repeat the questions? I don't know. Now, this is a clear psychosis station, but yet you checked my mood before the psychosis. Well, if you are asking about how was he doing in the complaint before the onset, just one open-ended question. And how are you doing before that? And I clearly expressed that there has been a sort of delusional mood. He doesn't know what's going on. So don't go more than this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Repeated many times. How certain are you? Any explanation? Maybe 2 times, 3 times. I don't know. Now, when you approach as we said before, there is something called weaving. What did we say about weaving? How do we phrase a question with the weaving technique? You have questions in your mind about the mental state examination, and at the same time, the patient has his own story. What you're going to do is that you're going to weave these questions with the patient's story. You do not pose a question saying to him, do you hear voices? What has this got to do with his story? The man feels that his neighbors are sending rays on his. You can just ask him, have you ever had any strange experience because of these rays emitted by the neighbors? Now, own words. You say like what? Like hearing voices. This voice raise make you hear voices. What did I do now? I did weaving. I used the patient's story, his own words, to phrase a question and tailor this question, which is suitable for his story. Otherwise, you'll have a checklisty feedback. Now, why candidates get a checklist feedback? Because they are just posing questions as if they are enumerating the items of the mental state examination. They are not tailoring their questions according to the story of the patient. It is very important to know how to do weaving. Weaving.
Yes,
you know what is weaving? This needle and thread things which all ladies do. They just keep weaving and so on. So they expect from you to phrase the question according to the patient's experience. Otherwise, your questions will feel like alien to him. What are you talking about? What voices are you talking about? What thoughts are inserted in my head? Okay, so we will see how to do weaving later on.
Yes, sir.
When I say to you, I'm not crazy, do not ignore this. Now I'm showing to you that I'm not comfortable. So just say, I'm just asking routine questions. I'm sorry that you are not comfortable because this. Can we proceed? Take a
Sir, one question like.
Whenever I express that I'm not comfortable, do not ignore it. This is the bottom line. Okay, so you covered the mood, you covered everything, but you didn't have time to, let's say, according to our slide. Okay. Let's see PowerPoint. Where is the PowerPoint? Now, this is a mental state examination. And this is how you take the, as we said, the most important point in taking, doing the mental state examination is to take the complaint in the right way. Do not rush to ask about the voices and to ask about the auditory and visual hallucinations, because while you are assessing the complaint, you are already assessing a psychopathology, and it is the main presenting psychopathology. Now, I talked to you about two things that I believe that they are emitting rays. How did you know? Okay, you asked about this, and I talked about another thing which you did not pay attention to. I'm seeing flashes in the house. That's why he believes that there are X-rays. So you have two main psychopathologies now. The patient is believing a delusion that there is rays emitted by the neighbors, and there is also flashes which he is seeing. Now, you asked me about the onset, how did it all start? You asked me about the course and the duration, what happened next, what did you do, who else is involved, and so on. Is it increasing? What's the explanation you did? But you asked about this explanation many times, which actually wasted a lot of time, and it was really annoying. After asking about the onset and the course and the duration, do not miss asking the patient, how were you doing before that? One open-ended question, and pay attention to this trick. If there is anything in this area, the role player is going to ask you, like what? Okay, like what? If there is
like what? Yeah.
in this area, he is going to like what? Then you can ask him closed-ended questions like any stressor, any abnormal feelings around you which you didn't understand what's going on. This substance misuse. But if the role player says to you that no, there has been nothing before that, then immediately proceed and do not ask about anything in details. Okay, please, candidates, please close your mics. We are now recording. Please close your mics. We're going to see now back again to our slide. Now, the next thing, you introduce yourself in a nice way, but please, doctor, try to loosen up. Fake it until you make it. Put a smile in your mouth, even if you are not feeling confident. Fake it. Nobody will know the difference, but don't be so formal and strict. I know this is because of your anxiety. You are a very nice person, but you give an impression that you are very strict, very formal. Okay, you can start with, I understand, Mr. Brown, that this is not the best situation coming by the police, but I'm here to help you. Can you share with me what happened? And you see, this sort of communication gives an impression that you are very professional, but having this strict facias is not going to help you, even if you are saying everything right. You talked about the complaint. You commented on my general approach now, the psychosis. Now, what I want from you now, Dr. Sharek, is use the weaving to in the story with the information you are having right now in the story. Use the weaving to ask about every item in the psychosis. You have the perception, the persecution, the broadcasting, insertion, withdrawal and thought of thoughts, controlled, etc. Use your weaving technique to ask about every point in this list. Now start. Dr. Sharek.
Directly from here, directly from psychosis part.
What did you say?
Directly from, I'm saying yes, directly from the psychosis part.
Now start now. Now you know the story. The patient believes that his neighbors are sending rays and he is seeing flashes. Now use this information to phrase a question which is palatable to the patient, to ask him about the voices which he is hearing, which he might be hearing, or any other perceptual disorder. Now start, please.
Okay, Mr. Brown. Now I'm going to ask you some strange questions which may be a bit uncomfortable, but these are strange.
Don't stigmatize your question. I'm going to ask you some routine questions. If you feel uncomfortable, just say, and I will stop. Don't stigmatize odd or strange questions. Just say that I'm going to ask you routine questions. If you feel uncomfortable, then just. But saying odd or this is definitely not the best way to express or describe your questions. So please start again.
Mr. Brown, I'm going to ask you some routine questions. If you do feel uncomfortable, do let me know.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. You told me that your neighbors are trying to harm you with rays. How did you come to know about this thing?
Well, because every time they direct the antenna towards my house, my mother starts to suffer.
Okay. Have you ever felt that your neighbors are sending you some voices, messages? Can you hear their voices at all?
No.
Perhaps they are talking about you.
No.
Do you ever feel that they send you comments in your voices?
No.
Okay. You told me before that you heard some flashes of light. Can you also see some images that other people are not able to see?
No, there's only these flashes of light because they are sending rays.
Okay. Any other change in the bodily sensations, for example, taste or smell, that you may attribute to your neighbors?
No. Okay.
So that's
very good. But pay attention to this.
I tried to engage.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, Sharek. Now, maybe he's hearing voices other than his neighbors. So when you ask about the neighbors, ask about any in general or any other voices which no one else can hear but you. Okay, so
Sir, here, one question, sir. Sir, here if we assess the persecution.
what?
Hello?
Yes, what
Sir,
did you say?
in this, if we assess the persecution here, we need to ask him how certain he is. There can be some other explanation. Then it will be repeated again. Persecution
The
part.
voice is not clear. I don't know. What is your question?
I'm asking, sir, if we assess the persecution part over here.
Yes.
So we need to again ask about how certain he is, or if there could be
No,
other people
if
involved.
you assess the persecution in the complaint, it's over. But just ask him anyone else involved. The psychosis. This is an acronym to help me to understand, to know how to assess the psychosis in depth. Sometimes you will cover the psychosis in details while you are taking the complaint. That's why it's very important to take the complaint in the right way, because actually what you are doing while you are taking the complaint, you are also assessing a very important part of the mental state, which is the main presenting complaint. In this case,
yes, sir.
it is a persecution towards his family, his neighbors. So if you already covered it, no need to cover it again while you are assessing the
Okay, so we can skip it here. We can skip it.
Yes, skip it, man. Don't be so dogmatic, man. You already assessed the persecution while you're taking the complaint. Okay, let's now again talk about the thinking problems or thinking psychopathology using the weaving. You already know that he's.
So, Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Brown, I see that you are very much distressed with your neighbors. You keep thinking about them. Is it possible that they are inserting thoughts into your mind, or perhaps withdrawing thoughts from your mind?
No.
And since you feel that your neighbors are behind you continuously, do you think that they are one step ahead of you, or maybe they can hear what you're thinking?
No. Again, doctor, please continue, very nice way, but continue the assessment with a general question. Maybe he's having this feeling, but not with his neighbors. So you ask about the neighbors, whether they are putting or taking away thoughts from his mind. So did you feel that in general that you have this feeling that thoughts are being put in your mind or taken away from your mind? Because do not confine it to the neighbors. Maybe it is present, but not because of the neighbors. Okay, please continue. Same thing like perception. Yes, you started with the neighbors, but continue to generalize it. Maybe there is another source of this unusual experience. Continue, please.
Okay, Mr. Brown. Very nice information you shared with me, and I'm really appreciate this. And do you think that somebody else may also be interfering with your mind in your ability to think clearly?
No. I have no problem with this.
Okay, and you told me that you saw flashes of light, right?
Yes, I saw flashes of light. Yeah.
Have you ever seen your neighbors' faces or any images?
No, only flashes of light.
Okay, nice. What about other bodily sensations? Are you able to feel something strange occurring to your taste or smell sensation?
Dr. Sharik, we already passed the perception part. Now we are assessing the psychopathology related to the thoughts and thinking. So it is thoughts, broadcasting, insertion, withdrawal, control. Okay, so you already assessed the perception in a very nice way. Do not come back to it. Okay, the persecution is already assessed in the complaint. We now did the weaving to assess the perception. Now we are assessing the thinking pathology, psychopathology.
But sir, we did this thing, insertion withdrawal. It has been done.
What did you say?
We finished the insertion withdrawal of thoughts part.
Dr. Sharik, the voice is interrupted.
Sir, we finished the insertion withdrawal of thoughts part.
Yes, what is the question? We have finished it. Okay, go ahead. So the broadcasting.
Yes, sir. Mr. Brown, uh, can you tell me if have you ever felt that your thoughts are being known to your neighbors or some other
Yes.
person?
No, no, use the waving. So have you ever felt that the waves which are sending make other people able to read your mind or make
Okay,
your
Mr.
neighbors
Brown, do you
able to
feel
read
that?
your mind?
Okay, Mr. Brown, tell me about those rays that the neighbors are sending you to your house. Are these waves in any way trying to take away your thoughts? Are
No,
these waves?
no,
Are
no, 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 no.
uh, that's it. Nothing else left.
Dr. Sharik, I cannot hear you.
Hello.
Yes. Hello, Dr. Sharik. His voice is
Yes.
interrupted, Dr. Sharik. Hello, Dr. Sharik.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, I hope now. Can you continue, please? You finished now
Okay, Mr. Brown.
the psychosis. Now you finished the psychosis. Now use the
Yes,
weaving
sir.
to ask about the mood. Now we know. Now we are practicing to ask the questions of the mental state examination in a way which is professional and palatable, and to avoid the feedback that you are checklisting. No one assessed the mental
Yes.
state asking, how's your sleep? What is your appetite? Do you hear voices? Do you see things? It's not like this. Definitely you get feedback on checklist and unfortunately you will not pass the station. So continue, assess the mood, please using the weaving.
Mr. Brown, you have been very much distressed because the problems that you have been having with your neighbor. Has it ever affected your mood in any way?
No, I'm just pissed off because my neighbors are doing this to me and my mother. I thought that they are good neighbors, doctor.
What about your hobbies? Are you able to have interest in them?
No, doctor, I stop. I want to enjoy myself, but I can't go out and leave my mother to them with these rays.
Do you have energy enough to engage in your interests these days?
Yeah, no problem.
What about your sleep and appetite?
Yes, no problem with my sleep and appetite. Yeah.
Are you able to concentrate in your work recently?
Just the weaving. Did you feel now you are now starting the new item? So did you feel that these rays are affecting your memory or concentration? Okay.
Mr. Brown, your mind is continuously engaged about thinking about your neighbors. This can be fatiguing sometimes. Are you able to concentrate in your work because of this?
No. This is always in my mind because they are bad neighbors.
And how are you coping these days?
I don't know what to do. I decided to front my neighbors because they must stop what they are doing.
And apart from the incident that took place today, have the police been involved anyway sometime
No,
before?
no.
Do you feel that you have to take any drugs or alcohol in order to cope with the stress that your neighbors are giving you?
No.
Any thoughts of harming yourself or somebody else?
No. Now assess the
Okay,
inside. Yes. Now it's
that's
this.
really good information, Mr. Brown. I appreciate you sharing with. I want to ask you: is this the first time that you've been to a psychiatrist?
Yes, this is the first time to talk to a psychiatrist.
Okay, I understand this can be a very distressing experience for you. But do you feel that there could be some other explanation to the things that have been happening?
No, this is not the experience when you ask. What did you ask the question again? I didn't hear. Maybe I heard in the right way. What was your question again?
Uh, Mr. Brown, is it possible that the mind is playing tricks on you?
No. And
Okay.
terminate. Thank him.
That's really helpful information. I really thank you for visiting me today, and I hope we see each other again, and we can help. We can make a strategy to help you out.
Okay, very good. Now, I would like you to the station from A to Z now, and I will
Yes.
stop you from time to time to correct you. Now you are going to start now, take the complaint and go on with all items of the mental state examination using the weaving technique. Try to be organized, show empathy, and try to show some communication skills. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hello, Mr. Brown. I am Dr. Sharik. I'm one of the psychiatrists here working in the mental health unit. I
Hello.
gather that the police has brought you here
Yes, doctor, I
regarding
don't
some
know.
problem with your neighbors.
I
Can you
don't
tell me
know.
more about it?
Instead of helping me, they brought me to you and they left my neighbors causing suffering to my mother. I want them to stop doing what they are doing. They are causing my mother to suffer and they are causing her ills, her ulcers to be painful.
I'm sorry to hear that. When did this begin?
Excuse me, what did you say?
When did this start?
It started 3 months ago, doctor, because I felt that they are sending rays by the antenna of their satellite.
Okay, after finding out this, what did you do?
Well, I tried to close the windows and I said to them to stop what they are doing, but they did not stop. So I covered all the walls of my house with aluminum foils, and I always closed the windows, but it's still, the rays are penetrating these layers and I can see the flashes of the rays in my room because it penetrates the room, the walls.
And you feel somebody else also into this?
What? What is the question?
Somebody also involved?
No, no one else is involved in
Hello?
this except, no one else is involved except the neighbor and his wife.
And before this problem started 3 months ago, how were you doing?
Before that, I was feeling that there's something odd. I don't know why my mother is not healing. She took all her chemotherapy but still the ulcers in her back are not healing. I felt that there is something odd and for about 4 months, but suddenly I realized that our neighbors are sending these rays.
This odd feeling that you're talking about, was it somehow related to your mood?
No, no, no.
Okay. Mr. Brown, why do you think your neighbors are sending this race to you?
I don't know, maybe they want to take my house because it is bigger and they, yes, and it has a better place than their house.
Okay, could there be any other explanation?
No, no, I'm very sure, doctor.
Okay, that's nice to know. I see that you're very distressed about this, and we can help you out. I just need to ask you some more information.
Okay, no problem.
I'm going to ask you some questions, find a bit, but if you do uncomfortable, let me know.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. Because of the distress that you're feeling from your neighbors, do you feel your neighbors or somebody else are in any way interfering with your thoughts?
Like what?
Perhaps the neighbors are sending you some thoughts into your mind or maybe removing thoughts from your mind.
No, 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 no.
And since you are so concerned about your neighbors, is it possible that the neighbors are able to know what you are thinking in your mind?
No, no, please, when you ask about the neighbors, Dr. Sharik, then generalize your question. As I said, maybe he has this experience, but not related to the neighbors. Maybe he feels that others are putting thoughts in his mind, not the neighbors. But it is a good start to approach this area of psychopathology. So don't limit it to the neighbors. It's a good start, but just ask really. Another general question: have you ever had this feeling that your thoughts are being put or taken away from your mind? Please continue.
Okay, Mr. Brown, is it possible that somebody else is also interfering with the thoughts?
No.
Okay. Sometimes when we are stressed, we do hear some voices or sounds which can be a bit distressing. Have you ever felt that your neighbor or somebody else, yes, you can hear their sounds or voices which nobody else can hear?
No. I've never had this feeling.
Mr. Brown, you told me before about some flashes of lights that you were able to see.
Yes, I was able to. I see flashes of light because of the rays which they are sending.
Okay. Perhaps, do you ever, are you able to see your neighbors' faces as well?
No.
Okay. Are your neighbors or somebody else in some way affecting your other senses, like sense of taste or smell?
No.
To know. Since you're so distressed, how is it?
How is what? Where's the question?
How has your mood been? How has your mood been?
No, my mood is
Mood.
fine. My mood is fine. No
Hello?
problem.
Okay.
Hello, Dr. Sharik. Yes,
Are we able to?
my mood is fine.
Sir, the network is. I'm sitting in the basement. There is no network here.
Okay, so please continue. Yes.
It's a network problem. This is a basement. Okay, Mr. Brown, are you able to find energy enough to engage in your interests?
Yes, I don't have any problem with this, but I don't go out because I feel that if I went out, they are going to hit my mother with the neighbor with the rays.
Okay, what about sleep and appetite?
I don't have any problems with my sleep and appetite.
I can understand that you are stressed out a lot because of your neighbors. Because of this, the mind can be fatigued. Are you able to concentrate on your work?
Yes. I have no problem with that.
Okay. And apart from this incident that took place today, has the police been involved ever before?
No, this is the first time to have an involvement with the police in any issue.
Okay. I understand the past 3 months have been very distressing. How are you coping with it?
Well, I don't do anything except that I want them to stop, so I decided to confront them.
Okay. Apart from this, ever used alcohol or any drugs to cope with that stress?
No.
Okay. Ever had any thoughts that you wanted to harm yourself or somebody else?
No.
Okay. Mr. Brown, I appreciate for you coming here and sharing your information with me. And I want to ask you, is this the first time that you have ever visited a psychiatrist?
Yes, this is the first time to talk psychiatrist.
So all the problems that you have shared with me, could there be any other reason for it?
No, this is not the best
Perhaps
way. What do you mean? Yes, I would say something like yes. The reason that they want to kick me out of the house, just try to make it clear that you are referring that his mind might be playing tricks, not a very open-ended question. The reason behind this, he will say anything related to his delusions. So you want to assess the insight, so ask the question directly. Do you feel that what you are experiencing could be some tricks played by their mind? Any chance that
So, Mr. Brown, when you are stressed, sometimes the mind plays tricks on you. Could this be a reason for it?
No.
Okay, I really appreciate you coming here today, and I hope we see each other again so I can help you a bit better.
Okay.
Thank you so much for seeing me today.
Thank you. Now, I feel now you understand how to go through the mental state assessment station and to do weaving. Now, your job now is to practice what we just did now with your colleagues. Now, this is simply tutoring. It doesn't end here. In order to master what we have just done, you must practice it. And there are a lot of candidates there, Bhaskar, Dr. Shuara, Dr. Fatma, Dr. Hassan. You can join them in a group and do what we have just done and try to master, particularly the weaving. Many of the candidates do not know at this point that checklisting is related to their ability to tailor the question according to the patient's story. They just pose the question and they feel that they covered the perception, for example. Unfortunately, this does not mean anything. They will only get a feedback. They are checklisty, and unfortunately, they will not pass. So, do you have any question?
No, not yet.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm very brave. By the way, I don't know, you feel that you are anxious now. Your anxiety is much, much less than the other candidates who are afraid to join this tutoring and to stream it on YouTube. So you feel that you are more anxious than the other candidates, while from my perspective, your anxiety is much less than theirs. Anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Sharif. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, anyone can notice that you're improving. So if you just compared your performance with the first time we did a station, you can see how much you have improved. And this is what happens when you practice regularly. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Yes.